With Caitlin and her status, just how did she look? How did she feel today during shoot around? And is she making progress and getting closer playing?
She's making progress. She's making progress. I think, again, top of mind, I think I told you this afternoon, is just long term. Making sure that we don't have any setbacks. Making progress and feeling good are two different things. And we want to make sure that she feels good. We want to make sure that she's confident. We want to make sure that we're not putting her in a position to have any setbacks. And that's the priority right now.
It was supposed to be a blowout. The Minnesota Lynx, led by MVP candidate Napheesa Collier, were riding high. They were the defending Commissioner's Cup champions and had dominated their way to a 14-5 record. They were polished, connected, and playing on their home court in front of a sold-out crowd. Everything pointed to a repeat title for the Lynx.
DeWanna Bonner was brought in for leadership. She was brought in for leadership. And do you want to know all that these young players learned from her? If things don't go your way, refuse to show up, continue to get paid a max contract while you are sitting out, refusing to play.
Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever limped into the final with injuries, inconsistency, and a media narrative that had all but written them off. Betting lines had the Fever as massive underdogs, and with Caitlin Clark sidelined, few expected anything but a one-sided affair.
They look pretty flawless, in the way that they're playing. I don't know if different is the word as much as they look even more connected. They're a team that was connected a year ago, but really the nuance of having each other's back on the defensive end, of knowing where your teammate's going to be, discipline to coverages, the connectivity that they have on the offensive end of the floor. The way that they move with and without the ball, the way that the ball moves makes it.
Indiana didn't just lose their star, they were navigating a storm. Caitlin Clark, the face of the franchise, was out with a lingering groin injury that refused to heal in time. Overseas commitments pulled Dantas away, removing another key player from their depth chart. But perhaps most surprising was the sudden departure of Dana Bonner, the veteran acquired for her leadership. After just 9 games, she parted ways with the team. It wasn't scandalous or dramatic, but it was unexpected. A leader walking out mid-season left the locker room without one of its veteran voices. The Fever were left to find strength within.
Coming into this, you talked about so much, hey, you got to have the right approach, don't trick this off, have the focus. Take me inside that mindset of you guys coming into this game and how tonight was just a collective effort that got it done.
I describe this entire experience as a gut check experience, and I mean that intentionally. Physically, mentally, psychologically, it was a gut check moment today, and I think for us, it was about making sure we won those moments that mattered. And I thought down the stretch of the game, we did an unbelievable job of just staying together, weathering the storm, and kind of utilizing what we needed to based on our schemes and our personnel from practice. And I thought down the stretch of the game specifically, we bought in. All 5 of us, whoever was on the floor, bought in, and I think you guys got to see that.
Without Clark's steady presence, the Fever looked like a different team in recent games. They had lost 3 of their last 5 and struggled to maintain leads. Their offensive tempo had slowed, and their ball movement grew stagnant. Aaliyah Boston, usually a force inside, wasn't receiving touches in the paint. Players were forcing shots instead of trusting the system. The cohesion that made Indiana such a rising power early in the season had vanished. It wasn't just a physical absence, it was a missing heartbeat. The question now was whether anyone else could step up and fill that void.
Coach, this is your first season with this batch of players, and so I'm just wondering if the Commissioner's Cup is just a stepping stone for greater things to come.
Well, I hope so. But at the same time, we want to take care of business now, right? We want to win a cup. So we're not looking at it necessarily as a stepping stone. We're looking at it as an opportunity to win.
Behind the scenes, head coach Stephanie White wasn't making excuses. Her approach was simple. Focus on the opportunity, not the adversity. She emphasized that this wasn't just a stepping stone, this was a real chance to win a championship. Even as the media painted the Fever as the underdog, White urged her players to believe in themselves and in each other. She wasn't chasing headlines or sympathy. She was preparing a group of young women to take control of their own story. And on game day, that message would become the backbone of a performance few saw coming.
Opportunity to win. And then we're looking at it, as coaches, as an opportunity to continue to stack days. We haven't had a lot of consistency in our lineup, and so we haven't really built that camaraderie and connectedness that we need in order for us to be successful. But we can take another step towards growth, another step towards consistency. On the floor, in execution, in energy level. We're playing the best team in the league right now, and we've got to come out and we got to play our A game.
From the opening whistle, something felt different. Indiana didn't ease into the game, they attacked. Kelsey Mitchell set the tone with early drives to the basket and sharp three-point shooting. Natasha Howard, long respected for her defensive instincts, brought an unmatched intensity on both ends. The Fever weren't just staying close, they were controlling the tempo, dictating possessions, and silencing a crowd that had come expecting a celebration. Every possession became a statement, and with each minute, belief grew.
What are some of the keys that you see as to how exactly you're going to do that, or what you guys need to do to approach the game successfully?
Yeah, I think we've got to be disruptive. We've got to make sure that we play with a level of physicality that doesn't allow them to just pass the ball around where everywhere that they want to pass it. So we've got to make sure that we're disruptive. We got to make sure that we're elite at our on-ball screen defense. This is a team that reads really well, that moves really well. We got to be elite at the point of attack on on-ball screen defense. We always talk about guarding our yard, being able to guard one-on-one so we're not in rotation early. I think for us, it's going to have to start on the defensive end of the floor.
Kelsey Mitchell had no intentions of fading into the background. With Clark out, she became the team's offensive engine. Her movement without the ball was relentless, and her shot selection was smart and efficient. Shooting over 40% from beyond the arc, she kept the defense guessing and spaced the floor beautifully. But it wasn't just about scoring. Mitchell brought leadership, poise, and control, the qualities Indiana desperately needed in the absence of their star. Her performance was calculated, confident, and undeniably crucial to what would unfold.
To the floor, so that allows us to get out and run in transition as well, but we can't allow them to just do exactly what they want to do on the offensive end.
Anyone else? Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Aaliyah Boston had waited for this moment. Early in the game, teammates finally began feeding her the ball in positions where she could thrive. The result? A double-double performance that reminded everyone why she's considered one of the league's rising stars. She battled toe-to-toe with Nafisa Collier and held her ground. Her footwork, her rebounding, and her vision were all on full display. For a team that had struggled to find its rhythm without Clark, Boston's resurgence was a turning point. And then came Natasha Howard's takeover. From rebounding to rim protection, Howard was everywhere. She finished with 16 points, 12 rebounds, and several critical plays that deflated Minnesota's momentum. She hit clutch free throws, grabbed key steals, and guarded Collier with intensity and intelligence. Her impact went beyond the box score. It was her presence, calm, confident, aggressive, that anchored the Fever in their most chaotic moments. When the team needed someone to rise, Howard answered that call. This wasn't a one-woman show. Sophie Cunningham gave the team a vital spark off the bench, knocking down 3 triples and pulling down tough rebounds. Lexi Hull proved she could perform under pressure with sharp defense and high IQ plays. Newcomer Ari McDonald stepped into the moment with 12 points and relentless energy. Each role player understood the assignment. It wasn't about personal stats, it was about executing the game plan. And the entire roster bought in. The Lynx made their move in the fourth quarter, cutting the Fever's lead to just 7. The arena roared back to life, but Indiana didn't panic. They responded with immediate baskets from Boston and McDonald, pushing the lead back to double digits. The defense tightened, Minnesota's open looks vanished. The Fever closed the game with composure and control, finishing with a decisive 74-59 victory. The underdogs had not just survived, they dominated. Though sidelined, Caitlin Clark's presence was unmistakable. She was vocal from the bench, guiding teammates, offering advice and cheering every big play. Cameras caught her fully immersed in every moment, living the game with the same passion she shows on the court. She wasn't just watching, she was leading. And when it was all over, she delivered 6 words that would define the night. I just know everybody is sick. It wasn't arrogance, it was a reflection of everything the team had overcome: doubt, injury, criticism. The Fever's locker room exploded with joy. Players danced, coaches cheered, and Caitlin Clark raised the Commissioner's Cup like a trophy forged from resilience. Videos captured her joking with teammates, sharing laughs, and using the cup as a playful chalice. But beneath the celebration was a quiet defiance. A team left for dead had just pulled off the most impressive upset of the WNBA season. Clark's words went viral because they captured what many were afraid to say. The league had underestimated them, and now the Fever were very much alive. This win wasn't just about a cup. It was about proving that grit, unity, and belief can overcome injuries, roster changes, and public doubt. The Indiana Fever showed the world that they're not just Caitlin Clark's team. They're a team of rising stars, of fighters, of champions. And when Clark returns, they won't just be dangerous, they'll be unstoppable. This is just the beginning. If you believe in this team's journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I've got the Fever.